The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys. Here's Nick Eatman.
What's up? Welcome to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette. Wednesday, November the 5th. I'm Nick Eatman. Let's talk Cowboy football headed into the bye week, but we got stuff to talk about. I was asked about the mood of the building yesterday when I was doing a radio show just now, and I said it's about as good as you could possibly have a Tuesday after a home loss to the Cardinals on Monday Night Football. It's about as good as the Tuesdays you could possibly have. I think there is excitement. Just the fact that the Cowboys did something. Not only did they make a trade earlier in the day for Logan Wilson, linebacker of Cincinnati, but Logan Wilson got a little bit better before he even got here because the Cowboys just picked up Quinnen Williams, one of the best defensive tackles in football, and he has been since he was drafted in the top 5. Year was that? 4 or 5 years ago. He's 27 years old. Really good football player, and this helps their defense immediately. It should. We'll see how it impacts on the field, and then we'll talk about what the Cowboys gave up. Did they give up too much? You like the compensation. You don't have a feeling. There's going to be some mixed feelings about that. But I like it because I've said it all along. If you're going to do it, make sure it's for more than just this year. Make sure it's a guy that's going to come in and be a part of your team. If you're going to give up a first-round pick, it's got to be somebody that is worthy of that. And they certainly did that. And, oh, by the way, they traded Mozzie Smith in the deal, inactive. He's been inactive since he's been here. I mean, whether it's officially on game day or just in general. So that's not much of a move there. But, all right, let's talk about it. 888-855-2297. Travis in San Antonio's first. Travis, what's up?
Nick, let's freaking go.
All right, there's one LFG about it. That's kind of the first person that told me was Josh Rodriguez, who was on Talking Cowboys just now, and he's the one that told me, and I think he really did have an LFG as well. So I thought he was joking when he said, "Oh, this really went down."
That is the mood in the building, and the only way you can properly set the mood. I know Chris is listening, and we haven't done it in a long time, Nick. And I don't really care that we're 3-5-1, but we need a Jimmy Johnson. How about them Cowboys drop whenever you drop that at some point? That is the mood that I'm on right now. Quinnen Williams is an absolute stud. He's a dude, and you got to give everybody, regardless. I've been critical of him too, but you got to give a shout out to the front office and Mr. Jones. Yeah. The best way I could sum it up yesterday, Nick, in a writer sense, was they understood the assignment. Mm-hmm. They are accelerating this rebuild. They understand. To me, it shows awareness that they understand where Dak's window is, and they're trying to line up guys so we can rebuild this defense now that you have an interior piece like that a lot faster than having to wait on 4 draft picks to develop. And I am draft guy, but I'm also team. If you can go get a guy, I'm not going to say the word, but F those picks is the way I've been saying it. So I appreciate that they did that. I know we only have a 5% chance, Nick, to get the playoffs, but after the last game, which I'm not going to talk about, I'm excited about the next 8 games. I want to see. I call this answer season. We got to find out about Carson. We got to find out about Revel. I want to see what Quinn looks like next to Kenny Clark, how much better he can be. And then the last 2 things I'm going to say is Logan did play. I talked to a buddy that is a Bengals fan. He said he did play Mike, so he has done green dot duties, so you're going to get an upgrade there. Mm-hmm. And the best part about this, I know he was excited yesterday, probably not as excited as I am, but Osa gets to go back to maybe more of his role where he can come in on pass rushing downs. He doesn't have to take on the double teams like he's been doing. The other 2 guys can do that, and you can bring him in fresh on 3rd down and get after the freaking passer. So let's go.
All right. Well, Travis.
The only thing other than that I've got to say, how about them Cowboys?
All right. Thanks for the call. I was going to ask about Travis. I mean, if there was one Mozzie supporter, it was Travis. He was a Michigan guy. He was trying for years. He was trying to let's wait and see. It never really happened. But it's funny, though, that it's like, you look at the draft. You said F those picks. I mean, no, that's not. I don't know if the Cowboys think of it just like that, but you have to look at where they're picking, where they're drafting here in the last couple of years, and it's a crapshoot late in the first round. It has been. Mozzie Smith, Tyler Guyton is right on the edge right now, 50-50. Is he going to be a good player or not? I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. No one really seems to know. Tyler Smith, I think, is a good football player, and we know that. Maybe not having his best season, but he has, he's going to be fine, and I think he's going to be a really, really good pick. So, it's like I said, it's a crapshoot there, and that's probably where some of those picks are going to be. I think you know what you're getting a little bit more with this player here. So, all right, let's go, Brian in Kansas City.
Good morning, sir.
How are you doing?
Oh, man, that was exciting yesterday. I'll tell you what.
Okay.
Look, just looking at, and other people have said it, just looking at, this is what you hope for when you have a first-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
This
right.
is the guy. There's no two ways about it. I thought all along, if I gave up a 1 and a 2 and I would have said edge rusher, but this is a guy who is of the same quality as the edge rushers that people were hoping for.
Yeah.
At his position, he is top of the line. He is the top guy. I'm curious now whether it will impact, and this is what I want your opinion on, is I'm curious, will it have the reverse impact? Meaning, we know what Micah brought to Osa. Can the reverse happen? Can Williams be such a disruptive person inside that our pass rush gets better? Because they're double teaming him or anything like that. I don't watch the Jets unless we're playing them. I don't watch the Jets, and I don't really know what kind of impact he's had on the players. Obviously, we have, I think, 2 of his coaches. One, somebody that used to play with him, and White Cotton was his coach,
right?
And somebody else that was a player then a coach. I was reading on .com yesterday. So I'm just curious, what do you think about the kind of the reverse impact of an interior guy making the outside guys better? And enjoy your break, man.
All right. Thanks, Brian. I do think that, stopping the run's always a key. You have to do that. You have to stop the run. And I think that's kind of where it always kind of begins. It's probably easier. It's easier to say. I would think that better defensive tackles is going to help your ends more than great defensive ends are going to help your tackles, because you can use great pass rushers against you. We've seen it here. We've seen Micah get up the field. We've seen DeMarcus Ware get up the field, and they run, underneath it. And so you can do that. Now, if you can't really run the ball that well, then that's going to set up for some 3rd and longs, and I think that does kind of help your pass rushers more. So I think it does start that way. I think it's more, inside out. Now, you say that, but everyone wants pass rushers. Everybody wants to get these pass rushers. I still think it's an interesting stat when you look at last year. The top 5 pass rushers in the league, the dudes, Micah and T.J. Watt and Max Crosby and Myles Garrett and Hendrickson, right? Those 5 guys were considered like the best. None of their teams made the playoffs. And so I'm not saying that's always the case, but I'm just saying it just because you have an elite pass rusher doesn't always mean that it's going to be successful as well. And again, I know where Quinnen Williams came from. He came from the Jets. They haven't been that good. Cowboys played them. They ran the ball all over the Jets. So let's understand kind of what the situation is. But I still think that this is going to be a great setup for him and for this team moving forward. And I'm fine with the pick and what they gave up because. And we'll talk about this more with other callers, I'm sure, just the big picture of it, the dominoes effect. It's not just about right now, because these grades that you see, they're just grading right now. I think you have to factor in the Cowboys were playing a little bit with some house money. And so, all right, well, we got this, and then so if you look at the big scope of everything, I think it changes your outlook a little bit. Josh in Chicago's next.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, Josh.
I like the trade. I'm happy about it. You know what they say about opinions, right? Like everyone's got one. So, the only thing I'll say about about what you were just talking about is, and I'm not saying that Quinnen Williams is this guy yet, but I'd rather have an Aaron Donald or Chris Jones type than a War Daddy pass rusher any day. That's just my opinion on that. Regarding the trade, I like it for the future. I like it for right now. I don't know if Crystal has a drop, but for 2015 Tony Romo, let's go win the whole effing thing. And that's all I got today.
All right. Josh, I'm going back to I do a radio hit on 105.3 The Fan on Monday, Wednesdays. And this morning, the two hosts were kind of arguing back and forth a little bit during their show about one of them thinks that they're going to go make a run this year. The other one thinks this move's really more about next year. So then they got my opinion. And I'm like, not to be the judge here, but you're both right. You're both right, or you both could be right. If they go make a run, I'm here for it. And then, literally, we're here for it, and I would love to see it. Do I think it's likely? Probably not. It's an uphill climb. It's going to be. You're going to have to be perfect here, pretty much perfect. And the schedule is going to be very challenging. But you're a better football team, too. You're a better football team and maybe a more complete team. So from that standpoint, I think it's possible. But it's also for next year, too. So why can't both be right? I like the fact that let's say they didn't do that. Then you're going to go into the offseason and be like, they got to do something here. They got to go to free agency. They got to, and if they would have got, Quinnen Williams, then you'd been like, oh, excited, great. Whatever they gave up would be about the same. Well, now you got him for half the season. He's here. He's been, acclimated a little bit more, understands not going to be a new player. I think that it's kind of, I've said this for a couple weeks now, jumpstart free agency. I'm going to say one more thing about free agency, too. The Cowboys traded their 2027 first-round pick, okay? And it's going to be the better of the pick is the one going to the Jets. So it's going to be the Cowboys pick. If they're not very good, Cowboys pick goes. If the Cowboys are picking 10th and Green Bay's picking 25th, 10th pick goes to the Jets. That being said, now, they've given up first-round picks before, but they haven't given them up before the draft, going into the season. The Cowboys know going into next year, going into the 2026 season, that if they're not very good, they're not going to get a pick. That's not anything we've ever seen before. They've traded Amari in the middle of the year. They've traded to get Amari in the middle of the year. They've traded to get Roy Williams in the middle of the year and then lose the pick next year. They haven't gone into the season knowing that if we're not very good, we're not going to have a pick. That might be exactly what this team needs to say. We're going to go a little bit more in free agency. We're going to be a little bit more aggressive here. We're going to push the chips in a little bit more. I don't want to say that those two words that got Jerry in trouble and all that, but I'm just saying this is going to be a little bit more than what we've seen before because you don't have a pick to fall back on if you're not very good. You got a quarterback. You've got a wide receiver that you paid, maybe a second wide receiver. You got some young players that you build around here. I think the fact that you're not going to have a high pick, so to say, in 2027, that might mean you're going to be a little bit more aggressive next year. Well, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but it's bye week, so we can do that. All right, Ime in Napa, California is next. Ime, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Nick? How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm always great, but I'm feeling a lot better. Big smile on my face this morning, man. I can't help but feeling good. I see things exactly the way you see. This is as much as it's for this year, it's for next year as well, and the next few years. I think that there's a window that Jerry's building, the team is building, Shoddy's building. It's like coming together. It's like I feel like there's like a real plan with this trade. Like, again, instead of like going into, the ugly stretch of playing Philly and KC and, all of the top quarterbacks or some of the top quarterbacks in the league, it's like, man, now there's like reason and purpose. And it's like, yeah, let's go. Let's go. Want to see what happens, what that looks like versus like, oh man, I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope we don't get embarrassed, but yeah, there's a lot to look forward to this year, next year, the next couple years, and man, I feel good.
All right.
Just like you said, we're building for, again, it's like we might not get a 2026 pick, 27 pick, and that's okay because we're going to be picking 31, 32, so feeling great.
All right. Love it. I love it. I mean, that's kind of the sentiment that I'm seeing here and hearing from these fans. They just want them to do something, because when you're a fan to call this show and be a diehard fan, you want, and this is anything in life, you want people to care as much as you do. And I guarantee there's fans that are like, why do I care so much? They're not even trying to get better or whatever. And that's maybe what the Jets fans are thinking right now. But the Jets are obviously trying to build and build draft picks, draft capital, and they've got a lot of it and all that, and they're willing to sort of sacrifice this year to do it. And and the Cowboys, it's kind of in the middle here because this Micah Parsons trade is still going. It's not just an isolated. I mean, it's how you look at it is Micah Parsons, Mozzie Smith, and a second-round pick for a first-round pick, Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark. And you have to remember the financial part of it, of them able to go and sign some of these players like they did. They've signed Jake Ferguson, Hunter Lipke, Deron Bland, Tyler Smith. They've signed all of those guys right after the Micah thing, and I don't think they would have been able to do all of that just the same. So, here's another part. It's a second. Like, as it stands right now, you don't have a pick on a Friday next year. You have two first, but you don't have a second and a third. So you have nothing on Friday. That's not going to happen. That's not going to stay that way. I would imagine one of these two first-round picks they have next year will probably be moved backwards, either into the second or third round or both, or one way or another. They're gonna get some picks on Friday on second and third round. So my point is that nothing's finalized yet. Everything's still kind of moving and fluid. All right, Chris, Saratoga Springs, New York.
I feel like it's Christmas morning, Nick. I can't be happier than waking up this morning.
We're in Washington D.C. because that's what Christmas morning is going to be for me, and I can't wait. It's going to be so fun. Can't wait to FaceTime the family from D.C. I'm kidding. Sorry.
I love. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Chris. No, I get it. It's exciting. I'm glad that you feel that way. I'm glad you feel the way about this trade. I'm glad this 3-5-1 football team that's frustrated everyone, including yourself this year, that I'm glad that you're able to feel that way.
Yeah, I love the trade. I love getting the linebacker. I called you yesterday. I said I wanted the linebacker. I said I wanted the guy from New York, the tackle. We got the tackle. I would prefer if we would have did 2 number 2s instead of a 1 and a second. But like you just said, I can pretty much guarantee next year somebody wants to get in that first round at the end. We trade one of those, get another 1 and a second, get in that second day next year. Would be great. I love moving on from Mozzie. I wasn't a big fan of his. I never liked his original comment when he interviewed him when he got drafted, saying he doesn't even like football. He just likes to hit people.
That was terrible. That's absolutely terrible. Yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
Quinnen Williams is class. Not only is he an unbelievable football player, he's an unbelievable person. He's great for the locker room. He's another Schottenheimer type of guy that brings into this locker room. It's not just for today or this year, like the other callers been saying. It's moving forward in the next 2, even 3 years, because you can franchise him, after that second year. I love the move. I'm glad Jerry made it. Swagoo's happy. Newton's happy. I think we're all happy, and I'm glad that Jerry finally made some kind of move. It kind of got me excited like we got Amari Cooper in that midseason a couple years ago. That's how excited I feel right now.
Yeah.
That's all I got for today.
All right, Chris, thanks. When you said you alluded to that defensive tackle in New York, and I guess in my mind, I'm sorry, when I think of New York football, I don't think of the Jets. I'm sorry, I don't. I think of the Giants, and so I was kind of. I just was like, I'll let it go because we're not going to sit there and ask about players. But I honestly didn't even register that must have been who you were referring to. Going back to Mozzie, he was here, and it was hard to really say that. But that was nails on a chalkboard when he said, I don't like football. I just like to hit people. And I said it then, and I said it, I'll say it now. That was a terrible comment, and that was a terrible pick. It just was. Let's just call it what it was. It was a terrible pick because you ended up getting a guy that said that. Because you don't hit people on Mondays, Tuesdays, barely hit anyone Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And that's how you become a good football player, is to do all the little things. If you don't like football, then you're not doing those little things to get better. You just hit people on Sunday. But guess what? When you don't take care of business on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you don't get to play on Sunday. You're inactive. You're a healthy scratch. So you're not hitting anyone. So that was an absolute terrible comment. Cool, thanks for being honest, but as it turns out, that the Cowboys have to own that one. They do all the research, all the study, and to come to find out that they drafted a player that didn't, and he says he didn't like football, and it showed. It showed. And so anyways, that's the Jets' problem. Another thing about Quinnen Williams too, look at what's going on there with the Jets. Look at that situation that they have. It's a miserable type of setting. And as great as Quinnen Williams might be as a person and all that, because I've seen all the stats and how he's not having a good year and all that. Who is? That whole situation, it seems like a dumpster fire. And I don't like to get into other people's issues, but, this football team, the Cowboys are not, they're not that good of a team. And they go in there and play like they did against the Jets. You know that the Jets have major issues. My point is the guys that you brought in, Quinnen Williams, Logan Wilson, they're coming from bad teams, bad defenses. They both need fresh starts. I have a feeling that you'll see a little bit more of what we've seen from them in prior years than what we've seen right now. It's easy to say, well, the PFF grade this year and all that. Let's just see what happens in this setting with this new coaching staff, this fresh start, all that kind of stuff. Let's go to break real quick. We'll be right back after this.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Crown Royal and the Dallas Cowboys are bringing back the Royal Rig for Season 2. See it in action at AT&T Stadium on Thanksgiving Day, where the Dallas Cowboys take on the Kansas City Chiefs, and around Dallas on November 26th and November 28th. Visit crownroyal.com to see where else the Royal Rig is stopping this NFL season. That's crownroyal.com. Please drink responsibly.
Altec Lansing has been perfecting sound since 1927, bringing you decades of audio excellence to elevate your Dallas Cowboys tailgate ritual. Equip your next pregame with the Sound Rover 180 with 6 hours of playtime, built-in microphone, multicolor light modes, and a rugged exterior that's built to last. Visit alteclansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off your Sound Rover 180. That's alteclansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off. Altec Lansing, official audio partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, Gillette's Best Shave is now available in cowboy colors with 50% longer-lasting blades than Fusion. New Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor is truly the best a Cowboy fan can get. You can get it at Gillette.com/NFL. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Chuck D in Bridge City, Texas is up. Chuck.
Nick, what's up, my man?
How are you doing?
Good. Been a while since I called. A lot's happened, but I'm going to talk about the trade here.
Okay, what do you think?
Big name. I guess he's comparable with Jalen Carter. I know how Jalen Carter is. You got a plan for him. You know, it's all we talked about that week one. For this year, I don't think it's going to save the season or anything, but I like it going forward and gives you some hope on that defense.
Yeah.
And another thing I want to point out is I feel like the offense played better when we had all those backups in. And while we're struggling now, it just doesn't make sense. Maybe something you're seeing and what you think about that.
Are you talking about B.B. Hoffman? Is that kind of what you're thinking, or just in Nate Thomas?
Even Booker. Even when we had Booker wasn't in there, and we ran the ball really well that game. And
against the Jets,
here lately we can't run. Yeah, we can't run the ball, and you could tell it's really affecting us.
You know who had the best game of the day last week? I mean, like grade-wise, Booker had the best.
Really,
he was the best player on the field, both sides of the ball. Tyler Booker.
Wow.
I know. I mean, if you're going to go off grades and things like that, he did play well. Now he had a penalty, which I didn't love that penalty, but he had a penalty. But Tyler Booker actually was graded out as well as any player on either side of the ball. He had a really nice game. So. I think Tyler Booker is going to be great. I mean, I think that's an outstanding pick. He's the guy. He needs to keep playing football. Remember, he played like 2 series in the preseason. He's still a rookie, but I think he's going to be fine. I mean, really do think he's going to be a good player. But the B.B. Hoffman thing that's questionable, I think, because his communication might be better for B.B., but nastiness, just the tenacity that you need with that. Hoffman kind of brings that too. So and Hoffman's always done well when he's there. The offense does well. So I can kind of argue that point if you want.
Yeah, you could just see the difference, and the play action ain't working, and everything ain't working now.
Yeah. Yep. All right, man.
All right, Nick.
Have a good one.
Good hearing from you.
You too. All right, let's keep it going. Northport, Florida. We got Dylan, Captain. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Commander Nick?
You good?
All good here. Yeah, just that last call real quick. It's not like the Cowboys really struggled offensively last week. They had 4 turnovers, essentially, in scoring territory. They left 12 to 16 points on the field. So I don't think it was necessarily like the offensive line struggled as far as running the ball goes. They were averaging 10 yards a carry on that first drive. We just got away from it. They just need time to mesh and play together after everybody being hurt and all that. So no worries for me on that part. The Quinnen Williams trade, they're getting blasted for it nationally. I think it's silly because they're just looking at the picks and they're not looking at the individual situation here in Dallas. Dallas is working on a limited time frame. I call it Operation Max Dak. You got basically 3 years left with Dak. Mm-hmm. I'm working under the assumption that he's not going to be here because he's going to be super expensive. His money's going to end up hitting at some point here, and it's looking like that's going to be the case. But we don't know what his health's going to be, his play at that point. So. I'm working under that time frame. This move jumpstarts the defensive rebuild. You still have plenty of draft capital to reinforce your foundation through the draft. And I have a feeling they're going to trade out of the first round at the end of the first this year to pick up some more picks. You move back 10 picks and you pick up a second and 2/3 like the Giants did with the Falcons this last draft. So there's plenty of movement there to be made. But most importantly, man, what they're forgetting nationally, this trade between holistically, the Micah Parsons moving away and then getting all these guys, they still have all the financial flexibility to pay a guy like Pickens. I don't know if they kept Micah, if they could have done that. So you got picks, you got the financial freedom. Kenny Clark's contract is not guaranteed next year, so they can either rework it or they can, let him go. I don't want him to go, but that's an option because right now it's $60 million tied up in that defensive tackle room, I think, next season, which they got to do something there. But there's so many angles where this thing works in a positive way. And the national media is being silly about it. So that's all I wanted to say, man. Just want to get your thoughts on that.
All right, Dylan, appreciate that. I'm going to say this. I've said it before. I'll say it again. You don't cover the NFL. No, nobody can cover the NFL. No, so national writers, national reporters, you don't cover the league because I cover this football team right here, and there's a lot of stuff that happens here that you still don't know. You don't know all the ins and outs. There's no possible way you can cover the NFL with 32 teams. It's impossible. So if you want to say, oh, Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, yeah, those guys, they do a nice job. They get a ton of help, but they don't even know the ins and outs. I know this firsthand because I know how much Adam Schefter leans on the guys that actually are here in Dallas. That's the way it works. You can't. So my point is be careful when you listen to national reporters because they're going off of this top level of just kind of what they see. Trade value, you get more here. No, they missed it. They're wrong because they should have gotten the third instead of the or whatever it is. You like Dylan, you just pointed out, they're not seeing all that stuff. They're not looking at the domino effect and go, all right, well, what if they end up signing these guys? They wouldn't have signed those 4 guys and then maybe Pickens as well. They couldn't have done it. But no one looks at that. They just look at this trade. Nope, 27 years old, declining player, not a good move, whatever it is. You got to factor it all in. It's like saying, well, should you go for it? This, analytics say go for it here on fourth and 4, or analytics say kick a field goal. You're supposed to kick a field goal here. Well, does analytics know that my kicker just broke his foot, and so now we have to go for 2? Or you know what I mean? Like, they don't know all of the details. What do you put into the equation there that Micah Parsons just laid on the table for you? And he basically quit in the middle of a preseason, and then he was going through all the motions to try to find doctors that could say that he had a back injury when he really didn't, and all this stuff. I mean, that's the kind of guy that you want. So you have to factor it all in. The Cowboys had to make a move based off of that, and like Dylan just pointed out, I thought in a good way about what this window looks like and what the Cowboys have to do to operate here in the next few years. So you're wasting time by worrying about it. I'm not saying you don't listen to points and all that kind of stuff, but I'm just saying there's an agenda with everyone. And a lot of times the agenda is just to bash the Cowboys and bash Jerry because these guys know that you can, people like that. LaShawn McCoy found that out. Same with Stephen A. Smith. This works. You know what I mean? Cowboy fans will hate you, but I don't care because everyone loves that kind of stuff. Just be careful with that because there's so many more layers to this. And I'm glad you guys are really informed about looking through some of those layers. All right, Matt in L.A. is next.
Hey, Nick. Really appreciate you taking my call.
Sure.
Been listening for many, many years. I just have 2 things, and then I'll just hang up and listen to what you have to say. First thing, I love the trade, and then the question is there any chance that we get Osa, Clark, and Williams on the field on the same, at least at first down, and then maybe interchange the pieces? And then the second thing, I've really raised my whole family, so we listen to the media that comes from Dallas. Entertainment purposes is turning on ESPN, so that's just for entertainment. So we really like to get in depth with our Cowboy conversation, and we were talking about, I know it's way ahead of time, but our first-round draft pick. Like, if the Cowboys were to draft, we were thinking maybe a cornerback, but if they're going to use Revel and Bland as our outside guys, would you ever consider using a first-round draft pick on somebody that covers the inside? Thanks for taking my call, Nick. I really appreciate everything you do for Cowboy Nation.
Thank you. Thanks, Matt. I think in the first round, I think you're looking at corners that, have elite cover skills. And some of these guys can go into the slot. I think, though, if he was just kind of a nickel corner, he probably wouldn't be considered first round. But that's not how they would spin it. What they would say is this guy can play everywhere, and he could play in the slot if we needed him to. That's how good of coverage skills he had. So that's how they would spin it for you, okay? You're not going to get, he's really just a nickel guy, but nickel's really important and all that. No. He's a corner, and he can play all over the field, which is good if you need him to travel and things like that because sometimes these great receivers do line up in the slot. So But we'll see what that looks like next year and what they need, and we're asking a lot out of Revel. We don't even know what he can do. So we'll see how this season plays out and what their needs could be. We think it would be defense, but you never know. It could be offensive guy too. You could be picking in the teens or something, and what if the best player on the board's an offensive tackle? And you don't know what you've really got at any other spot. So, let's not just assume anything about what they might do next year. Let's go to Rick in Massachusetts.
Hey, Nick. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. First of all, love the trade. It's with Quinnen and Wilson, because Quinnen's going to help the run, going to help Osa and Clark, and as well as going to help the pass rushers and the linebackers. So getting all that together, it's really going to help there. As far as the rest of the season goes, we're 3-5, but when we had the Murray call, I know it's slightly different, but we still have chances, even though it'd be slim, but we still have chances. And I'm one of those people that season not over until I hear someone say we're eliminated. Right. So from that.
True.
Thanks.
All right, Rick. You know what? Don't disagree with that at all. And that's the thing about it is that this isn't, this isn't a rental, and I could see if you would be like, man, they're putting all their eggs here in this basket, and if it doesn't work out, then then what? This is a move that is good for next year, but this year we'll see what happens. You got to play these games. Go out and play. You look at the schedule and you're like, you shouldn't be afraid of anybody, and that they won't be. I get it that the defense has been bad, but they're trying to fix it, and they hope that if you want to throw Revel in there, you can, but I think they're hoping that you've got 4 to 5 guys that could come back in the second half of this season and help you on defense. Quinnen Williams being the first one, Logan Wilson the second one, Overshown maybe the third one, Revel maybe, as the fourth one if he can get out there and play. And then I don't even know about Trayvon Diggs. That would, if he comes back and he's eligible to come back for the Chiefs game. So maybe if they can win and he can come back and he can help you down the stretch too. So and again, that right there, just on defense, that can get you a couple stops a game. That's all I'm asking for. Get a couple stops a game. Get a turnover, get a couple more sacks maybe, and just keep putting your offense in better situations. So maybe they don't have to start at the 35-yard line every time. Maybe they can start at midfield. Maybe they can start, in plus territory, things like that. Let's go to break one more time. We'll be right back on Cowboys Storyline.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for you. Gillette's Best Shave has a new look this season, and they've got one that sticked out in Cowboys colors just for us. We're going to want to run, not walk to this one, y'all. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor isn't just Gillette's Best Shave. With 50% longer lasting blades than Fusion, it's the best a Cowboys fan can get. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's Best Shave is also available as heated.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, this segment is presented by Yeti, officially licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is available at Stadium Pro Shops concession and on Yeti.com. Let's see if we can get a couple more calls here. Sergeant Sue in Fort Worth's been waiting. Sergeant Sue, what's up?
At ease, everybody. How you doing, Nick?
Good. How are you?
Good, brother. Hey, so there's always going to be, like, an angle that might look better, right? Like, oh, the Cowboys should have done this, or they waited too long, or they could have gotten this, or if they didn't sign for this guy, But, like, at the end of the day, like, I really feel like, the front office, and I'll say it, a lot of people get criticized for giving Jerry and the front office credit, but I think they've done a phenomenal job, man. I mean, if you think about even since the offseason, I mean, they brought in Pickens, they got Williams, making the trade, the Micah trade. A lot of people were, half and half on it, but it's looking like it's a pretty good job. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, the Dallas Cowboys and the NFL in general are my entertainment, man. They're all I have. A lot of people talk about basketball, or they like hockey or golf, and I don't have any of that, man. All I am is a Dallas Cowboys fan. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, I watch them for my entertainment, you know what I mean? So I'm happy that they're making improvements that won't only benefit my viewing pleasure this season, but also seasons to come, you know what I mean? And so I'm excited to see what these two trades can bring with Williams and Logan, right? Jeez, Logan Wilson?
Yeah.
And Overshown coming back, you know what I mean? And this is kind of going back to something that Dylan has said before, because I know he likes to call in and talk about bones and stuff. But, yeah, so Quinnen Williams can be like one of those bones that, like, Dallas is building around, you know what I mean? And my last point, I don't know whether you ever saw this, Nick, but I said it in the YouTube chat and people understood. So Quinnen Williams is the only guy who I've ever seen sneeze, bless himself, and thank himself. So if that's not versatility, I don't know what is, man. We got ourselves a stud. Appreciate you for taking my call, brother.
All right. Yeah, thanks for the call. This guy, I think that he's one of those players that we've been asking about, is you have to kind of identify. And I do think the quarterback will identify him. The offensive line certainly will. And the Cowboys really haven't had a player like that since Micah left. So that's certainly a good thing. You want to have players like that and guys that can make others better. And defensive tackle, you've got playmakers now. A defensive tackle. I mean, you've got. I mean, if you're just going to go one-on-one across the board, one of them is going to get through. So I think that's what they've done. Then they're kind of building from the inside out, and I certainly like it. A point about Quinnen Williams. I just wanted to let you guys know. Programming note: probably in about an hour, maybe a little bit more. Today at around 11:45 to 12 Central Time, there should be a press conference with Quinnen Williams. So be ready for that. I'm sure we'll carry that live on DallasCowboys.com. Let's go to Zach in Atlanta.
Hey, what's up, Nick in Frisco?
What's up, man?
Hey, I don't know what they're talking about on Talking Jets or Jets storyline, Jets break. But I know Cowboys storyline, all the podcasts we're doing today, our team got significantly better. Quinnen Williams is the best player on our defense, and also one of the best players on our team already.
Yep.
That's huge. That's huge. And losing Micah, we needed to make good on the resources that we had. And man, we atoned for the sins of drafting Mozzie by effectively trading Mozzie as well, and acknowledging that. So, man, I'm excited for the rest of this season now, at least, just to see what happens. Yeah, great player, Quinnen Williams. So excited that he belongs to us now. And going back to my call from last week about the Cardinals game, obviously not a great game. But I said the zombie pass rush would wake up. We got home, and it wasn't crushed Teddy Grahams. It was shredded brisket.
Yeah.
Shredded brisket. And we got a special teams touchdown, the blocked punt. I thought it would be a punt return touchdown, but I was throwing a lot of darts. Would have liked to win. But, man, here we go. Bye week and then the rest of the season. Talk to y'all soon.
All right. Thanks, Zach. Let's keep going. Lester in Minnesota is next. Lester.
Hey, Nick.
What's up, man?
How you doing, man?
I'm good.
Hey, do me a favor, man. Ask Jerry, can I borrow that DeLorean? So I don't know if it was old Jerry going back to the 90s or young Jerry coming up to the right now saying, hey, what's going on? But whatever it is, man, hey, He did a great job. Old Jerry Jones of the 90s is back. I love it. We got draft picks. We got flexibility. And we got a good offensive and defensive line.
There we go.
How about them Cowboys? Go Cowboys!
All right. Thanks, Lester. I think the consensus here is the same. I mean, everybody's pretty excited about the move. And that's what's going to be the case on this show. I mean, he's a diehard Cowboy fan and been fighting through it, wanted to see something better, want to see some change, want to see the Cowboys do something that can help them right now. Because this is where we are. We are right now. They're going to watch this game against the Raiders in a couple weeks, and then all these other games. I mean, it doesn't matter what the record is. You guys are going to be watching, and you want them to have a chance to win. And so I don't blame that. Now down the road, it still helps them. Down the road, like in 2 or 3 years, I mean, we'll see. I mean, you can't grade any trades. Who won the Steelers Pickens trade? Well, it looks like the Cowboys have gotten someone better than a third-round pick. But in 2 or 3 years, you might look back and go, oh, look who Pittsburgh drafted in the third round with that pick that the Cowboys sent for Pickens. And the Cowboys maybe only had him for a year. And then they got a Jason Witten type in the third round. You never know. I mean, you never know. That's why grading drafts and grading trades and all this stuff, it's going to take a little bit because there's a lot of pieces to the Micah thing. I mean, the Cowboys got a guy with the 12th pick in the draft, and turned it. I mean, it was Micah Parsons and turned it into all of this. So it'll be a few years before we really unravel it all to see who did what. But I know this: Quinnen Williams helps your football team right now. Logan Wilson helps your team. I mean, right now you got the best linebacker on your team, and you got the best defensive tackle on your team right off the bat. Two positions that you needed. They probably were trying to get more trades. It didn't work out. But as it stands right now, your team got better, and then we'll see what it means for this year. We'll see what it means down the road. This will be our last show of the week. We're going to take a little break here. All the podcasts we'll take a break Thursday and Friday. We'll be back on Monday. So I'm sorry if you guys weren't aware of that. That's sort of been our schedule every year for the bye on Thursday and Friday. We'll try to wind down a little bit, even though I know there's a lot of excitement, a lot of news, but that's kind of where we are. We'll be back. We'll do it again on Monday. So enjoy your bye weekend and do whatever you're going to do, and then we'll get it going for next week. For Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eatman. We'll see you next week. Cowboy Storyline.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!